What's good, everybody? Off the Menu Podcast, episode 116. 116, man. We're trekking along. I'm P. I'm here with my brothers, my co-host Tay.
Hello, everyone.
Moose.
Yeah.
And a very special guest, DJ Teo, music supervisor, executive producer, DJ, you name it, Kotech founder, big stepper, go-getter, going crazy.
That's good.
Wow. Thank you, bro, for coming.
No, thanks.
It's been a long time waiting, man. I saw bro at the airport. He said, hey, I'm trying to be on the fucking pod, P.
Is that the one we ran at the airport that was leaving LA?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we went to Sabati Fest?
Yeah, we went to Sabati Fest.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
said, P, I'm trying to be on the pod. I said, hell yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And we've been, battling. Because he told me he moved away, so I was like, oh shit, I don't know how we're gonna coordinate this. And then he's like, October. I said, all right, bet. Let's fucking find you a date.
Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you didn't live here.
Yeah, so I'm actually just relocated to LA. And yeah, it's been good out there. I'm out here whenever I have to be, really. But yeah, I got a lot of places to stay, kind of. So, I'm kind of in the area right now, so this is actually all like work pretty perfectly.
Okay.
I was gonna say, because he's doing an event at PC with Spaz and them.
Oh, the one out in Park City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys are available this weekend, you guys want to go do something.
Make sure you dress up like a fucking vampire too. Don't be a fucking loser and be weird and not.
Okay, can you tell people what the party is first before before you start telling?
So
They were like, what?
Spaz and Friends. I can't remember the address. Like 268 South Main Street in Park City, and it's for Halloween, obviously, and we're all dressing up as vampires.
It's Vampires on Main.
Yeah,
Is that the right?
something like that.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Be there. I'll put everything in peace face. Vampire.
I'm getting my nails done for this too, which I've never done.
You've never done your nails.
That's
Yeah.
surprising to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Amy won't let me.
Why?
I don't know. You ask her.
Amy, what the fuck?
Well, speaking of Amy, IT technical support in the back walked away, but
It's tight.
all right, y'all. Episode 116 off the Menu Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, we're not going to be doing Sunday episodes anymore. So Wednesday,
Looking forward, yeah.
going forward, every episode will just be pushed to a Wednesday. Whether we do 2 a week, it's still going to be the following Wednesday. Just for us to stockpile because we will be taking December off for winter break. That is our version of winter break, is that you guys don't have to do a podcast anymore, unless Post Malone
or like
Tupac.
JC.
Oh, dude.
Tupac, yeah.
Tupac. Yeah,
Biggie.
Forgot about last episode.
Kanye. Maybe even Drake and all this,
No, we need to hear his side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Kendrick, whatever. I don't know.
Quincy Jones.
Sure.
Okay, come on.
Sure.
You guys got
Robert Pattinson, for his sake.
I got culture, bro. Shut your mouth. How dare you?
I didn't say. What do you mean?
Already.
What the fuck?
Watching you, dog.
I just said for your sake. It's Batman. So you guys can be in the same world at the same time.
It's not about me, okay? Let's go back to your promotion.
What? The promotion's over.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, we were talking about it. There's like some Gatorade in the whatever it is.
Oh my god, yeah, the retrograde of something.
Oh.
Things just feels weird.
Mercury's
There's
in retrograde.
There's Gatorade and Mercury right now. I don't know how it gets there, but it's
Mercury,
there.
right? Yeah, shoot, man. Yeah, how have you guys been feeling like this week?
Ooh.
How you feel
Drained.
like?
Yeah, go
Drained?
Drained, yeah.
Yes.
That's
Tired?
a good way to put it, yeah. It was a long weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long week, so
Yeah.
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 Looking
you
forward to
be-
it, but not more so looking forward to it. Sometimes I just try to see it as like, all right, I'll get through it, the work aspect of it, and just go home and sleep and chill. And
Yeah.
probably light one up.
Honestly, yeah, this week has been, these past 2 weeks actually have been very long for me.
Yeah.
Because I was sick for like 4 days. And I'm still kind
That's
of, I'm just
right.
congested. I'm just congested now, but like it's just been like late nights, sleeping in, going to the gym hella late, groggy, tired, not wanting to do anything in reality.
Because I've been like, even my coworkers and stuff too. It's just everybody's been kind of saying the same thing. I'm like, this is crazy. And then Tay said the same thing, and he said the same thing. So it's like,
You know, I feel it when it's real when I start feeling it because I don't usually. I'm like,
he doesn't care about the stars.
I call in the work. I called in the work yesterday, and I was like, okay, dude, I need this day off. I felt like
Sure,
everything
yeah.
hit me with like
Sometimes
a
you
truck,
need to do that.
and then I'm like, man, I'm whack for calling the work. What the hell?
No,
is
that's
wrong
how I
with
be
me?
feeling too, bro. He's like, I'm such a pussy. Bro.
Yours
like,
is different. You work on the weekends, so like you missing out.
You're missing out.
I know. But like
you're
calling out
also-
on a Monday for sure. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, I feel like a bitch.
Yeah.
And plus, you're like a part of a team. Like everybody matters in service.
But then I also
Yeah,
had to
but
work
retail.
Saturday, so like I didn't really have a weekend, so that's really why.
Oh, you worked that Saturday?
I worked Saturday this last Saturday.
Oh, really?
Is it mandatory?
I work one Saturday a month, but it's like 4 hours. But it's still like that means I worked 6 days straight, and so
Still,
that's
at the
why
end
I
of
was
the
like,
day,
okay, yeah.
That's ass.
That would destroy
But, like,
any
yeah,
of us.
I hear you.
Yeah.
He said,
Sorry.
destroy any of us.
Hey, shut your mouth, okay?
You're gonna get this a lot. Me and you are just gonna sit here and just watch this
Yeah.
entertainment for a little bit. It'll happen like every 20 minutes
He's
or so.
just very compassionate.
Yeah.
And I'm a button pusher.
I'm very
Oh, yeah.
I'm sensitive. I can't help it.
But let's go ahead and get into the episode with our guest here. For the viewers, who are you and what do you do?
Oh yeah, so I'm DJ Teo. People know me as Mateo as well. I'm a DJ, music supervisor, executive producer, tech co-founder. You know, kind of facilitate and organize a lot of other things. But I like to keep it at that right now. So yeah.
Yeah, you kind of do a lot, like because you were telling us what you because we kind of go over stuff what people or what our guests are doing, and you started listing stuff off. And it's like that some of that stuff did not mix together, but it also makes sense because like you're trying to create different avenues for creators. As a creator yourself, you know, someone that's in the music space, you're trying to give more opportunities for what we kind of discussed at the beginning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And yeah, so it's a lot of different titles, but I think it falls down like the same avenue as well. With like kind of just being revolved around music. For a lot of people that don't know what music supervising is, a lot of people don't. So I'm the one that puts music and licenses music into documentaries, films, commercials, stuff like that. Kind of just took on. It's been like a 3-year endeavor. And last year is where I took it serious, and that was a big reason for the move to LA. It really had to be LA or New York, and I didn't want to do the big boy move to New York. And I already have family scattered all across California, so it'd be easier just to be in LA. But,
Yeah. Okay.
Still really cool to be in LA too.
Yeah.
Music
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
supervisor. How did you find out about that and like what that entails?
One day it just hit me. I'm like, damn, who puts all this music into like film? And I looked up. It had to happen like 4 or 5 years ago when I was in college, and I went to Weber State. So that was my where I got my footing in Utah. And I just looked it up, and then I would stay a little bit extra for the credits or watch the credits when I was done watching like Netflix or Hulu. Look them up and kind of see, look up podcasts, look up interviews they were in. You know, kind of just YouTube University, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And from there, I just kind of was able to find out what events were going on, where it was more of like the guild and like the community of like people in film and on the music side as well. And just kept getting invited and still getting invited to this day. So yeah, kind of just kind of infiltrated in the community a specific way. And that kind of how it works is like you just kind of revolve yourself around like what you want to be around. And from there, it's been nothing but love. And it's been like a thing where people have like actively tried to put me on game and in the best way possible for myself.
Yeah. So what is that like? Being a music supervisor, obviously, do you own rights of music and then sign it over to somebody that's creating a film to like put that music in there? Because I'm trying to understand how that works.
So you're pretty much on it too. So just for spitball numbers, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about Tupac, right?
Okay.
So if he had a song, Dear Mama, right?
Okay.
Dear Mama is 100,000. Also, all spitball numbers, by the way.
Yeah.
100,000 to put in a song. There has to be pretty much a middleman or a middle company that facilitates that whole process for the song to get in and to be cleared the right way and to be licensed the correct way. So no one, so like the film doesn't come out or the final version comes out and we're like, oh shoot, like
Litigation, law, all
exactly.
that. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what music supervision is. And I think the other avenue I'm trying to take as well is creating music, and that's where I become a executive producer, where I bring producers with artists, composers with artists, so on and so forth, and then I could pitch my music to music supervisors or to people in sync. Yeah, for film.
So you're trying to be like a one-stop shop for entertainment in its own, right?
Exactly.
So music supervisor, executive, like, and there's so much more
Yeah,
to
dude.
it. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much more because it seems from what you were saying is more of like the middleman process, but you're also taking it head on and saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I do. Do you guys need this kind of work, or do you guys need to go over things like this?
Exactly. And once I fully figure out how the whole process works and kind of how the etiquette works, or like how you send it over, I'll have a network within it to at least have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what I'm trying to give myself. It's just the opportunity.
Okay,
and
so
everything.
more so like putting your foot in the door and giving and having the opportunity, so that way when things arise, they're like, hey, remember me?
Yeah, exactly. And I've already worked on a lot of, like, not a lot, but I think it's been 12 independent films already within Utah. So
Really?
we
Okay.
just submitted to Sundance not too long ago as
Yeah.
well. So hopefully we hit, we got accepted in a couple other film festivals last year, which was fun to attend and everything.
That's got to be like a great feeling, especially like, did you take on DJing before you started doing all this stuff?
Yeah. So DJing started like 7 years ago.
So like that, you already had the love for music. So for the love of music to grow that much further and be able to create a business behind it instead of being a musician or just a DJ, right? You took on a different role
Yeah.
within music.
So many avenues that you
Yeah,
can take.
because honestly,
I didn't even know that was a
Pretty
thing,
dope.
bro.
Think
Yeah.
about that
Oh,
kind of
hell
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Daft Punk did Tron, just
Okay,
make
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the soundtrack to there. Or when you talk about like fully producing and composing like everything, but then also people like
It's like Hans Zimmer, though.
Hans Zimmer's like a composer,
I'm
but
saying
then
though,
like think
he
about
signed- but he's
like Baby Driver. You know that movie,
Yeah, yeah.
Baby Driver. It has really good music in it.
Yeah.
And it's like a big point to the movie. It's
Yeah.
probably like it reminds you kind of that.
Okay,
you can
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
too.
you're
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It plays like, music and sound as a whole
yeah.
can really just, it could be a night and day difference between how a film is perceived.
It really makes it or breaks it because people don't realize like people are shooting these movies in silence. Like the
Silence,
yeah.
scenes are there's no music, but then like that's the magic to it. When you put the music to it, it changes up the whole thing, which I love because we nerd out about movies like crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's crazy.
so does that
Blows my
also mean you're a fan of film and stuff? So that does you take on like watching film and to understand where certain songs go into certain places, or is that more of a different role that someone else takes?
Yeah, no. So I've been watching films now in a different, from a different perspective, which has been really fun. Because now it gives me a reason to watch a movie. Because before I'd be like, "Fuck, I'm watching a movie. I'm wasting time." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love watching movies, and
Yeah.
especially a well put together film. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like what has been released recently. And like kind of like the
yeah.
status quo behind all of it.
Yeah.
But like these movies that came before our time, and like when we were growing up, they were all like really, really good, and a lot of money was put together to make sure they were like really
Yeah.
good as well.
That is true. It's been a
Yeah.
while since I've like watched the movie and be like, damn, that's Endgame I cried, but
Yeah.
that one was more so
was,
my
like,
childhood.
everywhere.
Yeah,
all
but there's
at
just so many
once.
moving pieces
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
one thing to work,
Yeah.
But I challenge like there are good movies, but in, like the
Yeah.
mainstream, I agree, it's a
Yeah.
little rough.
Yeah.
But it's like the way movies are made. But
Yeah.
back in
Films did die a little bit, especially because of
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
COVID.
the theaters died, like all that kind of.
and I don't know, these
Got
studios,
watered out, yeah.
these studios got money though. But then,
Well, yeah.
and I'm gonna go on a ramble, so indulge me for a
Go
second.
ahead.
But then it's like when the studios nowadays, like, but when we were younger, you can create a good concept and a story,
Yeah.
and then somebody will finance the movie or a studio will buy the movie and kind of like help you kind of make it. And it was easier. In this day and age, you had to have like an existing IP for these big studios for the funding to get made. Because like one of my favorite movies of all time, Wedding Crashers,
Yeah.
which it has these like
great.
star-studded cast, dude. It's just like it's a romance.
That's one of your favorite movies.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And then it was just like, even Vince Vaughn was kind of talking about it too. And he's like, yeah, that movie just doesn't get funded. Like there's not like that. And back in the day, the concept of the story was the selling point, was technically the IP.
Yeah.
Today it's like, what about Transformers? Like, does it relate to Transformers? Can we make something off? So like an existing IP that's a popular story.
And that's why they're trying to
just
remake
hard.
so many movies, like Princess
Yeah.
Diary
They're
3,
remaking so many. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. He's gonna
Beetlejuice.
watch
It's
that
not a
tomorrow, so
remake,
he's
but
gonna
like-
watch
Watch that
hell.
tomorrow.
It's a
Heard
sequel.
was
It's not a
good.
remake, but still,
Yeah.
like it's 50 years later, bro.
Sometimes it's good, and then also there's the other side where there are indie movies getting pushed out by like studios. We love A24.
A24, yeah.
Right? So like there are things happening, which is just I feel like going to be a new renaissance. Hopefully, the more it happens, especially with the actors we got nowadays, they're great.
Yeah.
It's like the new
there's a
great
lot.
legion of actors that are here. So it's like it's pretty cool.
There's
I'm
more
like, I'm
independence
optimistic.
in films now. Like there's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
opportunities to have chances where you can watch. Like I watched DD, It was a film about like the coming of age from 2008.
DIDI?
Yeah,
I wanna
but it
watch
means like
that
little
one, yeah.
brother in Taiwanese.
Yeah.
And like I watched it and I just had like flashbacks the whole time because like they were texting on flip phones. It was like when MySpace transitioned to Facebook, and it was like really funny because the like main character, he's just like this goofy kid who's trying to just fit in. With
Oh, it's
all
the
these
kid that's
group-
filming the skaters?
Yeah, so he's trying to fit in with all these other kids,
Oh,
but he doesn't know who he really is.
Who he is, yeah.
Right, and so he's trying to fit in with the skaters, and the skaters are like, "Man, you're not who you really say you are," because he was trying to fake the funk.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, I remember being like that, like a little kid, like I was trying to didn't really know who I was, and I was trying to fit in." So that kind of independent movie really like touched me because I was like, "Oh, that was like me when I was younger."
Yeah. Pause. But yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
Yeah, and going off what everyone was saying about like what's been going on, there was a writer's strike as well too.
Yeah.
And that took a big hit. They were actually like protesting near my house. And I was like,
For real?
yeah. Like earlier this year, I'm
LA?
like, damn, these movies are not going to start anytime soon.
Yeah.
These
These
shows.
films and
Everything
stuff.
did get pushed back.
Yeah.
Damn. Sure.
It's good to see like it's back in action.
Even
back in
TV
motion.
shows too?
TV show, it's a writer's strike.
Everything.
Yeah,
everything.
Everything.
They were.
Like, yeah.
I remember we were visiting LA and like even like being on the Walk of Fame, like everyone's just out there just, not rioting, but like they're out there with this strike for sure.
Yeah.
And you see all these famous people all just standing with just regular people that are the writers that are really trying to make this movement happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
was
But
really
that's why
bummed
like we've had such a bad output of entertainment recently is because of all that stuff that happened with the writer's strike.
And I feel like in any era, there's going to be good or bad.
Correct.
And we've had some really bad ones, and that were really expensive. So that's the thing that really hurts the most. But then a lot of good ones too.
Do you feel like reward shows like the
Grammys,
Award shows?
Oscars, I don't
VMAs, Oscars.
Yeah.
What's the other? It's because there's movies and there's shows, Emmys and
yeah,
Oscars.
yeah.
Do you feel like they're still as relevant as they were before?
I think they're more relevant.
I feel like they're
Today.
not.
I feel like they're not
I
either.
feel like they're not.
It's our our generation is tapping in more than we ever have.
Really?
Yeah, because we have.
I just feel like it's
The
dead.
Bear. You don't watch those?
I
watch
don't.
them. know.
I watched them when I was younger
Yeah.
because it was on TV.
Yeah.
So easy for me
Well-
to see now. And now it's I don't know. I guess on.
I think it's
socials.
still relevant because like people like it. It's just like honoring those like shows that we really love, and it's
course.
like shows that are happening right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we fuck with a lot of them.
Shogun.
So I think it's like exactly. So I think it's. I
feel
think
like
it's
it's-
definitely changed because TV's not the same.
I feel like
It's
the
not,
reason is
yeah.
like the reason is relevant is because the internet is bashing on this stuff. That's the only reason like I was like paying attention to it is because like there's some dude on Instagram or TikTok that's like, "Fuck the Emmys," he's like freaking out. I'm like, that's more entertaining than what was going on over there.
Well, it's like think of you guys know the show Abbott Elementary, and I'm sorry we got in a long tangent about this. But,
No, it's all
like,
good.
No, it's
like
okay.
Yeah.
Abbott Elementary, right? You guys know about that
Abbott
show?
Elementary.
It's about like a inner city school, but it's like the cast is just like funny. It's a comedy. And
Okay.
it feels like The Office, but it's
Yeah.
like
Is that
teachers.
I've seen those ads. Is that a redhead teacher?
There's a redhead teacher.
Okay.
yeah.
There's that one of who's the kid that played Chris Rock's
Tyler-
son? Tyler or something,
Tyler-
but he's like
I
a
love that
teacher
guy.
in that. Yeah.
But Maddie watches it, so I watch it here and there. But it's like this girl the lady that started the show, she stars in the show. It took her forever to make the show.
Really?
And she's not big. Like for her to get
And it's on
an
live
Emmy-
television, like
Yeah,
ABC.
it's like ABC. It's on ABC. So like for her to
that's
get
nice.
an Emmy, I'm like, oh, that's like what it's about. Really, it's like all the bullshit kind of happens, especially like Oscars and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like I think when somebody really like fucking really tried hard to make something, and then you like encourage it on this huge platform, I think it's cool.
Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So I think
Maybe
it's,
I
like,
just
big
see
in
it
different
differently,
ways.
like because I don't.
I get it too.
It's like
Yeah.
when that happens, when you're talking about like stuff like that, it makes sense. But then
For
when
sure,
you're
for
when you're
sure.
on the internet and it's getting shrouded out by everything else that's going on, you're like, what even happened at this event?
I know,
Right?
I mean,
Like
yeah.
I didn't know that
So-
until now.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know anything that's going on besides Shogun winning and the Bear winning.
the Bear winning like a freaking 1,000, dude.
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
or 13. Shogun won
Freaking
18.
ridiculous. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Shogun
though.
won the most.
But let's go back into you.
Sorry.
Not-
Long tangent.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all good.
Well, it would happen because we're talking about entertainment, but
All good points.
So you said you started DJing 7 years ago. What was the reason why you started that?
Yeah, so if people knew me in high school, I was always like kind of out and about. I was always on aux cord already or like hooking up to the Bluetooth. Turned out I ended up like moving to Michigan for my first school. I went to Davenport University in Grand Rapids. And I was like, let me just do this DJ stuff because there wasn't really like a quote unquote DJ on campus. And we were having fun parties and everything. And then we would win football games, lose football games, and still party. So I would just set up in the basements of these houses and kind of just like it was usually like the washer and dryer and kind of just set up one speaker and and foggy ass basement. Oh my gosh, of just like horny college kids and drunk as hell. In the Midwest, people drink in the Midwest too, man.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, it was like pretty like profusive and, and like so like it was actually a good time to be out there witnessing that. And then I knew I wanted to like move away. I didn't want to do that winter again. So like that spring, I took a lot of visits to a few schools and within the West Coast just to be closer to family. And Weber State was the one I landed on. Because I already had like a lot of connections with people from home that went there as well too, and yeah, that's how I ended up in Ogden. And then from there, DJing, started to the high school parties, concerts, athletic parties, just stuff like that within like college, and ventured off into the clubs, and kind of the rest is history from there.
7 years
Dang,
ago.
that's
That's
crazy.
what, 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
You're so right as you're a freshman in college is when you start basically.
Yeah,
You'd say.
and yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then when I was a sophomore in college, I moved here.
To go to Weber State, we played football here. How long did you play football here?
3 years.
So you played all three. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang,
So
you're
you
doing
did-
all that?
You found a home here, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people, Taylor, like everybody fucks with you when we see you. So you did the Glow Gala. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That was a great time.
That was literally 2020,
2020. I think that was 2020.
Yeah, you were
Time
still
flies.
fresh. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still fresh with
Time
DJ.
flies.
It's crazy.
Yeah, great times. Everything that's happened for me in Utah, it was all just a strategic building block for me to get to the next levels I wanted to get to, essentially. But yeah, all my network, it just began to increase. It's a small community.
Yeah.
You're bound to meet someone that knows someone. And yeah, in a lot of ways, it was a blessing.
Yeah, and honestly, it's true because like we talk about the network in Utah, and everyone calls it small lake city because everyone knows everyone somehow
Yeah.
or knows of someone, right? And then honestly, I didn't realize that I knew anyone until like we started doing the podcast, and I was like, "How are we gonna get on the podcast?" And then how are we gonna get guests? And then I was like, "Oh, I know you, or I know you, or I know of you."
Yeah, yeah.
And then so we started reaching out, and I was like, "Utah is a great place to network."
Correct.
You know, and it's like people that are scared that are moving here from other places, like, don't be scared. There's a network here that's willing to work with anyone as long as you meet the right people.
100%. And there's a bunch of different pockets too. So, whether you're in tech or you're in fashion or you're in the food industry, you can kind of just find anything, Music is probably like one of the lowest, kind of demographic of people, not in like quality, but more so like the amount of people that are in it. But kind of everything else, I've done a lot of work and, collaborated with a lot of people. I'm like, damn, there actually is a lot of good out here going on.
Yeah.
And, so
It is, and it's crazy because like when you say that the demographic of music is much lower than other demographics, it's crazy because when we started doing the podcast, that's when everyone started like popping up in our feeds, and I was like, whoa, wait, you do music? Or like, I didn't know that there's groups in Ogden. I didn't know there was DJs from like, there's DJs everywhere. And like, but also COVID created all these outlets for people. Like a lot of these were closet artists
So many.
and didn't really
stories,
know
yeah.
when to like really release their music. And when we started talking like Spaz, COVID DJ, right? She was
she is.
doing it from home. And then it's like, we've had musicians that are like, they really started doing it in COVID because they really had to sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
It was either do nothing or just hone in on their craft, and then they started like releasing music.
Correct.
Yeah, we hear so many stories. They're like, "Oh yeah, I started in COVID," or I was like, "Wow, this is like everybody was just doing something creative." So
Could have been
cool.
us.
Yeah.
Well, we're always doing stuff.
Could have been us.
Whatever.
And for me, COVID was when I like treated it as a business. So 2020, 2021 was like when I got done playing football entirely and I graduated. And from there, I feel like when I got into the scene, it was an interesting time because Salt Lake City was still open. And I don't know, like
true.
it was very open. Like I go back home to California, it was just like zombie land, like nothing's happening.
We got right back to work.
Yeah, I'd go to Atlanta, very open. I go to like Miami and very open, so the red states were open.
Yeah.
And then Utah happened to be one of them. And I think a big part of it was like it made the playing field, it made it leveled as far as like my introduction into the scene in Salt Lake. So yeah.
Damn, that's an interesting take. I mean, honestly, just from The red states, man.
It's the truth, though.
We were right back at it. I remember
money had to be made somehow.
yeah, because my work was still paying me
You know what I
the
mean?
whole time we're off.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then
nice.
they're like, we got to get their asses back in
Yeah,
here.
like
So
you
they-
got to get in here. We can't keep paying you forever.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Utah really flourished as a state during that time.
Yeah, it was
because like that's why people were moving here because they're like they needed opportunities, and Utah still had opportunities for a lot of
Gotta
people.
work.
Yeah, it was weird.
Honestly, that's when like our best business happened. Like when we did Secret Menu,
I know you guys made
That
a
shit
shit
was
ton of money,
booming.
bro. It's so crazy. Y'all made
dude,
so
I
much
was on
money.
Instagram Live
They
4
made
times a
so
day.
much money, bro. It's so. I mean, as much as money they put in, but they made so much money back. It's so yeah, it was
Pretty
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, another one's happening again. Never win them.
I won twice.
You won twice, but I only entered.
You won
probably
a big
like
one.
handful of
Yeah,
times.
I won one that was worth like 1,500.
You got the
graphics card.
Yeah,
I
that's
paid
right.
$100 for that bitch.
Oh man,
Honestly, I didn't even know how that was gonna work, but people kept asking for it.
they
And
were
then-
selling everything. I remember everything was reselling, man. When the graphics cards thing kind of came about, I was like, I didn't think.
Bro,
we were
it
gonna
was
do
so bad.
Microchips.
It was so bad. The market was so inflated because of COVID. Like everything was so as much money that we had because of Uncle Sam. Like everything was
Yeah.
so overpriced.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Was it? Would you say it was more overpriced than things are now? Like the thing is, the everyday thing today is not as is more expensive.
The
than
cost
it
of
was in COVID.
living now is
way more expensive.
worse
was-
than when you were in COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
COVID for sure. Like
Because
groceries, food, gas,
groceries,
everything
yeah.
is fucking terrible. I mean,
Everything's
besides
at a
gas,
road
gas
back,
was pretty fucking bad then.
But also, no one was driving,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? Where were you? Okay, well, I wasn't driving anywhere, but it's like, but everyone drove here.
It's true.
You know what I mean? My car, like, I only put
Well-
it like 1,000 miles on that.
Wouldn't it make sense? We had like 2 months off or something like right?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, sure, yeah.
If I
Some
was still
people-
getting paid,
Yeah.
oh, I could have did a road trip around the fucking country or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, gas was expensive. But and everything now, like I think about like the lowest
expensive
common,
now.
like the most common thing, like a bag of chips. Like a good old bag of chips, like a kettle freaking jalapeno chip,
Yeah.
$5. I'm like, there's
Used to
That's
be
just for the
350
small bag.
Used to be
no, that's
$350.
yeah, well, yeah, that's for stop.
Bitches used to be $350,
$3.50
$3
or something
yeah.
like when you
That
think
was
about
nice.
like those kind of things and the small thing, like the small like things. I'm like,
I remember
fuck.
California burrito used to be $5. That bitch is
Okay, that was like
True. That
15
was
years ago.
that was like
that was like 15 years
that was
ago.
like
in high
that
school,
was like
bro.
10.
I
that was like
moved.
10 years
Okay,
ago.
that's still a long time.
That's
We're
like-
talking about COVID.
That's fucked though. That's still fucked. I don't give a fuck.
Now
It
it's
is-
$12.
It feels, that was
Yeah.
like yeah, it is
$5 for a fat ass burrito. You know,
Yeah.
how, you know. I was. This is me. This is like junior. This is like high school, junior high me.
Okay.
I'm getting high as fuck during the summer, and I can just walk to Ranch Rivers, have $5 and get a full ass, big ass burrito. Can't do that anymore. That's sad.
Now you need $12.
That's true.
That's ass.
Pretty tough.
That's everything now. Like, and that's the thing that sucks is that cost of living goes up, but your pay doesn't. Right. So you really have to
Yeah.
work out. You really have to work out and like really figure out what you need to do in this generation because there's opportunities to make money. And I kind of want to go into that because now you're starting to create more opportunities for yourself. When did you find the passion that in finding in this different type of avenue of like, doing stuff?
Yeah. I think the passion came from just wanting to do it and like spending my early 20s on things where it's like, do I want to do this? Fuck it, let me try it.
Yeah.
Type of thing to the point where like that became an overload of like, okay, now like I'm doing too much. Let me just funnel in like exactly what I want to do and realistically how to make money from it and essentially treat each individual one like a business. And yeah, so I think the passion came from wanting to do it first. And then two, it was like deep diving into like how much money I could make from it and what other people are like, how they have like pretty much made it a financial, just making it a financial like commitment for them to live off of, and yeah. And it's a transparent question to have and people will answer it though, and
Yeah.
people, podcasts and interviewers and fucking Glassdoor, everything. It's pretty out there now on like, and then transparent on how much people make off what.
So do you have a day job aside from these things that you're doing in your personal life?
As of now, no.
No. So this is just how you're making.
Yeah. So yeah, DJing and music supervision is the main thing doing it now. But I know it's gonna have to increase. So I might have to get a day job within like music or film. But for me, I just want to see how it works internally.
Yeah.
For me to like really do the big grand scale of things.
Right.
But yeah. LA
Just
would
putting
be-
in the reps.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
You're not from LA, right?
No, I'm from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at tattoo. hat.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
What ethnicity are you?
Oh yeah, so I'm Filipino, Mexican, Guatemalan, Salvadorian.
So everything about the Bay Area.
Yeah, literally.
Basically,
all the
shit.
food, all the different types of food. No, literally.
I'm asking. That's all. You know, because growing up, I,
mean,
really
yeah,
wanted
that's
to.
Bay Area for
I
you.
really wanted to move to the Bay Area. I felt like that was like where I really
You fit
wanted to
in?
be. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I fit in there. I love hyphy music. I was into all that stuff. And then we would go visit all the time. And that's when I had my first interaction with someone in the Bay Area. It was like he was sitting next to me. He goes, Utah is going to be the next Bay Area.
Yeah.
And then like we had that conversation. And I was like 19 or 20 years old. And I was like, what is he talking about? What does he know about Utah? And he was just telling me all this stuff. And then as like we were getting older, like the Bay Area started like, it was becoming a place I didn't really want to be at anymore because all the laws and all the stuff, they weren't protecting people.
Correct.
But then you started seeing Utah growing and flourishing. I'm like, oh, this guy was not wrong.
Well, they were, yeah. When you think about it, yeah, people from, not from the Bay, but Utah took a lot of influence from West Coast.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was. Like,
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
consider ourselves a West
do
Coast state.
consider
So
it.
like
Yeah.
that's why.
Did Jerkin come from West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerkin came from the West?
think
so.
Dougie
Yeah.
and Jerkin came from the West?
I knew people in Dougie and Jerkin crew.
Because that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
yeah.
from the West, yeah.
What was
From,
it,
like,
the New
Bay Area,
Boys?
Yeah, New Boys.
No, it was
yeah.
like it wasn't New Boys. It
New
was
Boys and stuff,
Rangers.
but the Rangers are, the Rangers are one of
Me
them.
too.
Okay.
But I was a jerker too, so I'm trying to think of like, and that's mean like.
So you weren't just jerking.
Great-
You were really
grade school.
jerking.
Jerking.
Oh,
sorry?
whoa.
But that's like 6th grade, 7th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Just
and
like-
but Utah adopted
Yeah.
like a lot of like Bay Area culture early on, like with the
Yeah.
hyphy music, like
That's what I'm
all
saying,
the
yeah.
all the Polynesians and like Hispanics
Yep,
in
there
Rose
you go.
Park, like
Yeah.
a lot of them were picking up on that music really early
That's
on.
actually
Yeah.
very true.
You guys showed me that music, so
Yeah,
I
dude.
have that.
But a
Like
lot of
fast like a
Polynesians-
NASCAR when I play
yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
We got one homie going dumb. He's going crazy.
And how long ago was that conversation with that guy?
Dude, I was like
was years.
2013.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
11
Yeah,
years ago.
2013.
Yeah.
It was because it was the first time we so actually we just started dating and we actually went to vacation like a month after. And then we were like sitting there. She tried to kill me. She was like, "Hey, eat this oyster," because she didn't believe I was allergic to shellfish. And then I ate it. Had hives. Went to the bathroom, washed it out. And then, but it was at that place.
lived.
I lived.
That's crazy.
I made it.
In her defense, we just don't believe anything you say.
Yeah, no one believes anything I
Oh
say.
my god. bro.
You just don't know. You just don't know.
I was like, I don't even know why I talk anymore. I don't even know why I'm on a podcast. People just don't listen to me anymore.
well, we believe you now, but there was a stretch of years in the beginning where I've known him. That was like 2013. I've known you for at least like 2 years, at least. And I was like, I just don't know if he's ever telling the truth.
That's how I felt when I was younger. When I was younger with him, I was like, I don't know what the fuck.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
if you're saying the truth or not, but like you're a big homie, so I have to believe you, you know?
What do I got to lose?
Wasn't lying ever. Never lying.
But what I hope though is that Utah adopts some of like the fashion that the Bay Area has is just cool. It's effortlessly cool, and I want Utah to find something
It's
within that language.
easier out
Feel-
there because the weather.
Yeah, I,
I know,
feel
the
like
weather in
Utah's
here is, like-
more like it's more inner city. Like if you're in Salt Lake,
know.
I feel like it's more of an inner city.
But we got
look.
outdoorsy, you know.
Yeah, but like I said, if you're in the valley, that's what it is. But if you're
Yeah.
if you're in the south, or if you're maybe even further west, like Twilla and Grantsville, like
Yeah.
that's what you'll see is like the outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah. So with you, like, okay, so it was really like college that really took things off for you. Like you were going to different schools and you found opportunities. And so, yeah, you got to experience this lifestyle. What made you want to keep going at it?
So I think the main thing that kept me going at it was I knew I was going into a scene where I was already different. So I'm like, let me kind of be transcending in that way and kind of see where it could take off from there. And I knew at a young age when I first got into it, all right, I just want to be around music, entertainment, and sports. And
There you go.
kind of see like where that would take me. And it essentially happened like that,
Yeah.
you know? And then it's like, okay, like let me dabble into some other things. And yeah, so that's what kept going, making me go like forward in it and kind of just keeping that creative, those creative juices flowing as well too. Because honestly, out here in a market like this, it could get pretty diminishing to your creative flow and like what you want to do. But yeah, I honestly knew I was someone different, and I could help the community and and essentially the state in some way where I'm like, okay, let me just. It was bigger than me. You know, it was bigger than me. I knew it was bigger than me at in the early stages of my career.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any moments where you're like, you wanted to give up this whole thing? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
what was one moment like you were like, fuck this?
COVID
Yeah.
was a big time.
Easy.
Yeah.
I think dealing with the politics of like, I don't know, I don't always want to kiss ass in order to
Right, of
get
course.
an opportunity, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm like, damn, do I have to kiss ass? You know, so it was one of those things where, you know, social media essentially is media at the end of the day, and people, it's each person's individual media to what they want to put to the world for the world to see.
Yep.
And not a lot of people are posting their losses or being transparent about that as well.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, I'm like, damn, people are, you know, always doing better, bigger things than me. When am I gonna get there? Blah blah blah. And then it was a clicking moment. It's like, okay, and then people would come up to me and like, kind of hit me with the same thing I was thinking about someone else. You know, I'm like, so I'm like, okay, let me just keep this going. And if I can inspire someone else to do something big and great, then I just want to keep going myself.
It was enough for you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely it's came up a lot of time. You know, my girlfriend could easily tell you, like, I've had those moments like where I'm like, damn, like this ain't it, especially if it's not a good month financially. But yeah, that's something I could be very like transparent about myself. It's like, you know, this it's still the creative industry where, you know, some months are better than other months.
Absolutely.
And October happens to be a good month because it's Halloween and company
They
parties.
getting shiesty.
Yeah.
I guess around the holiday months, it kind of just
Holidays,
picks up,
yeah,
right?
for
Exactly.
sure.
Like summer kind of like
Wedding
gets
season,
there, right?
Yeah.
type shit, and then you have holidays.
Yeah,
And
and then it goes down. It goes down, quote unquote, like after New Year. So
Yeah.
it's
a little bit
That
after
happens
New
with
Year's.
everything,
yeah,
though.
That's, yeah,
We-
'cause it's just a reset for everybody.
Even in the
Yeah.
podcast space, like our lowest numbers were during last December. Like we were averaging like 200 views. We were like, we thought we were like killing it. And then December hits and it's like 40 views. Like what happened? It's like,
People
what is
busy.
going on? But it's because the holidays, so everyone's watching it. And then like
Yeah.
they caught it. So I guess in the YouTube space, there is like the 3 dead months, which
you
is
said this, yeah.
January, February, and March.
okay.
So it kind of happens in entertainment as well. So that's when you see movies are being pushed out during that time, people are really trying to focus on like, why is there a scary movie coming out in February when
Yeah.
it's like Valentine's Day? It's because no one's trying to watch whatever movie's coming out that time.
Okay.
So they're trying to force these movies out to get people to get into entertainment.
Yeah. And I think what I did good starting 2023 was like splitting my years up in quarters.
There you go,
know,
yeah.
like, and you know, I graduated in marketing, so I had some marketing jobs, and we would, you know, do quarterly annual analysis between the company and everything and what we're doing. So once I started treating kind of DJ Teo, ENT like that, it kind of made it more. It funneled my year a little bit better to like get ready for summer and fall and stuff like that.
Do you see yourself? This is like a left field question, but do you see yourself being a mentor to somebody along the ways? If somebody came up to you like, "Hey, I want to do what you're doing. Like, I want to DJ and possibly get in the music industry," is like something that
Oh yeah. It happens. It happens
Yeah,
pretty
that's why I
often.
ask, yeah.
And whether it's, you know, it could be, you know, any kind of creative title you want to be.
Right.
I could tell you all I know, you know, and I'm not really a gatekeeper. I don't have to, you know, I wish there was someone under me I can put on. And I've had people under me DJing wise, and have had, you know, others come up to me and ask for advice, which I'm more than willing to give. And yeah, I have to see first though, or I guess I have to see second is, are you serious about this? And you know, that could be proved a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And that does happen a lot, especially in this industry. Like, you know, when we're not even like coming from like podcasting or like even content creation, it was just life. You know, people always ask advice, and you're like, do I really want to give this advice? Like, are you really going to be serious about this? Like, and I kind of took that kind of stuff and like brought it into this industry, and it was like, you know, straight up, if you guys have questions, ask the damn question. If you have different perspectives on how we should do things, send them through, because I will look into it. And I'm serious about this. I'm really serious about how, you know, we're being perceived and how the kind of content's coming out, because I really want to know what people are really thinking about us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about fake love. Like, if you see me and if you really see me and you really fuck with me, like, cool, I'm going to dap you up. But don't give me fake love because we do the podcast or because we're making moves in the city. Because there's sometimes I'm really put off about going out because I'm really, are we really being the people that really people perceive us to be?
Yeah.
You know, and so it gets kind of hard being in this industry. Like if we're really in, like, especially in Utah, it's like, how do I know if you really fuck with us?
Yeah.
Right. I go out once a week and I'm like, you get out more often than I do.
I battle this shit every fucking time, Tay.
Yeah.
And like, once again, it's one of those things where like, if you're gonna show me respect, like, of course I'm gonna do the same thing back. It's just like one of those things is just, don't be fucking weird. If you don't like me, you don't like me, and that's okay. I don't like you either. But like, if you're gonna show respect and say what's up, and I appreciate the things you do, blah blah, then I'm going to take that, like that means a lot. Like, it means a lot to me because we don't do this shit just for no reason, right? Like, we want to do this to lead by example for being Southeast Asian men in our culture, to be examples for our people at the end of the day, and make a resemblance, or no resemblance,
Representation.
There we go. Thank you. Fucking Christ.
It's easier when you're on the other side.
Listening, yeah. But making a representation for people like us at the end of the day. So, like, if you guys have questions or concerns or like or critiquing, whatever it may be, we're open ears. We're not going to be over here getting mad or butthurt about anything you guys say. Like, this is the choice that we decide to make when we put ourselves on this platform. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
You guys are doing dope shit. I can give you guys flowers
Thank
now
you.
Thank
on
you.
this pod.
Thank you.
That was a big reason. I was like, okay, who would I want to like talk to in Utah on camera? And then it hit me the week of, and then boom, I see him at LAX. I'm like,
it was
yes.
crazy. It
That
was,
was
so,
literally
it was so crazy. Yeah. I was like, damn.
This guy's so popular.
No, I'm not.
He really is.
You got stopped in LAX, dude. We got out of the plane. He's like, "Oh, what's up?" And I was like, "P, we gotta go. We gotta go."
So funny.
He's like, "We're already going down the escalator." I'm like, "This guy can get an Uber or something." It
It's like in LA too. That's
was because like we had to go to
funny
the
as
festival that day.
Yeah.
So we got off the
Just what are
plane.
the odds? The
Yeah,
fact
we
that
went
it
to
would
a
happen.
festival.
Yeah, and he's going to Utah.
Yeah.
That was what was
Yeah,
crazy.
you were going to Utah. I was like, what are you going? I was like, oh, you stay here? You're like, yeah, I'm going to Utah for fucking, I can't remember what you were going for, bro. Fuck.
It might have been DJing
June.
It probably,
It
was it
in
June or July?
June.
around there.
Yeah, you were DJing probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And kind of going out there where you were saying too, you know, a lot of people, I think the approach people take out here could be perceived as weird.
Yes.
I've gotten that a lot. And I just started like, if anyone from Utah is watching that's new to it or that has been here for a long time, I just started taking shit with a grain of salt. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, let me not take it too personal. And I'm more of like okay, let me just notate that.
Yeah,
You
it's in
know?
your mind now.
Yeah, it's in my
Just-
mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's 100% how I am too.
Yeah.
It's just like, you may have not meant to come off that way or like say that in that way, but I'll make sure like, you know, you came in a respectful manner and it's all love at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
This is so weird for you guys around the wild, you know?
It's moose. You know, yeah. When you're outside, bro. Like
Yeah.
once again, he's outside. He has to be.
Yeah,
you know, at
exactly.
the end of the day, like people are gonna know him. People are gonna know like where he's been at, who his friends are. You know, I'm friends with his friends, whatever it may be. So like at the end of the day, if you don't say hi and you know me and we recognize each other, it's just one of those things where it's just weird.
I mean, I've had that happen in just like normal situations.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But it's just weird. You know.
I
know
totally
you.
get it. If it's a Utah thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that happens more often, bro. I swear to God, like that.
shit.
It happens here more often than not, bro.
Oh, it even happens like let's say you
It
just
happens
know
with shorties too. Like it's so
you
embarrassing.
just know people out there, and then they're like, I was like, you didn't say hi to me? What the fuck?
But I'm like, I get
weird.
it because I'm
Yeah.
the guy, and you have to say hi.
You are
and,
just
know.
very, you're just a sexy guy, man. You just got to be careful out there. They don't want to get rejected by
It's
you.
different when you're 6'2".
Dude.
Like, it's different when you're
Yeah, you're
6'2",
lucky.
you got to
God knew not to give that.
You said you,
You
might
guys
not be DJ. You might be playing football
No,
still.
for real.
I would have started hooping in Laos.
No,
I would have. I
Playing
should have.
overseas.
Yeah, I should have.
You coulda- you coulda made it in Japan somewhere or
My
something?
ankles fucking broke. So
Yeah,
I just host one of those Thai talk shows. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, you could be in Lacan if you got yourself in shape and shit. You could have been.
Honestly,
one.
no, he
could have.
fits-
He
he
could
fit the
have, bro.
bill
Yeah,
already.
he has the lights. He has the fair skin. He had the chiseled jawline. He
Had-
had the hair. You has the height.
Guys,
But you just didn't do it.
I already know. I already knew that was possible, but I don't want to do that.
so you were doing all this stuff in Utah, and you were like, "I'm gonna." Oh,
My fault.
ASMR.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you decide to take the leap of faith to go to LA.
Correct.
And you know that's where a lot of people like. I wanted to do fashion, and I was like, I need to go to LA or New York. That's
Yeah.
my first thought process, and I was like, how do I do this? And so, how did you figure that this is really something that you needed to do?
Yeah, so kind of like I said earlier, everything I've done has just been strategy. So me from moving to Ogden to Salt Lake all by myself, downtown Salt Lake, that was already the first leap of faith.
Yeah.
And it panned out really good. So I'm kind of going around the country, really like I'm either for DJing or to connect with other people or to see how I can DJ there again. And I kind of had to just figure out that LA was the move. And I'm going back home a lot to the Bay Area, but I don't really like how it's like Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, and those two cities I just said don't have parking. San Jose, and that's a far stretch of a lot of different cities, and that's a lot of miles.
It's like 5 hours in between.
All respect to all the DJs out there, because the DJs out there are their standard. And being out there more, I got to realize that and got to perfect my craft in that way.
Yeah.
But I knew it wasn't back home because I'm like, I just don't want to be here. You know, if I have to be here, I have to be here. And then I'm going around. I want it to be Vegas really bad. I still want it to be Vegas really bad. I wanted it to be Arizona, but that heat in summer is different. Like you just have to stay inside at that point. And like their summers are basically Utah's winters, and I had to realize that. It's really tight niche over there too. So it wasn't too. It still is very appealing to me. I think Scottsdale is like one of the best cities in the West Coast.
Yeah, we had Nansen on. He said if you need to have your bachelor party there.
Oh yeah. Or you got to experience it single before you get in a relationship.
Yeah, some
next
snow
to
buddies
Miami.
out there.
Oh,
Shut up, dude.
Kind of everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's a lot of variety, and like
OnlyFans is crazy over there. Apparently,
sugar daddies. Yeah, it's
Sugar
big. That's how you know.
daddies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got money over there because
Very common.
when I was working at LV, everybody that would they would always talk about the Scottsdale store.
Ah.
And then I didn't know anything about Scottsdale. And then I asked my manager, I was like, what's going on with Scottsdale? What does everybody talk about? He's like, oh my God. It's like,
oh my God.
It's like the Beverly Hills of that area. Just so much money.
Well, it's college cities, like everywhere, like Temple and like Phoenix, like everywhere. There's colleges.
Probably just a bunch of beautiful people.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the town square one.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
like that's one of those malls where you could get Foot Locker and you could get Louis Vuitton and Chanel. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
crazy. Yeah.
it's really nice.
Our
So
malls don't have that.
no.
Utah, yeah. Why don't we not? I feel it though.
It's a church. That's another combo.
Oh, is it really? Is that
I
what
mean,
it's-
the only mall that you could put something that like that in is City Creek. And City Creek is owned by the
church?
Correct. Yeah.
You know, so
They,
like
they don't like designer
The
shit
Momos.
or-
I don't.
the Momos, yeah. I think it's just gonna take a lot of time to get there, but not everybody's gonna be here like that.
Yeah. I'll give it to the Olympics. And so
makes sense.
from like kind of deciding where I wanted to be, didn't want Portland because Portland or Seattle because it was raining too much out there. I really wanted to do San Diego, or Diego is a beautiful city. I think
more calm.
way more calm.
Yeah.
But then I got in the film, so it was like boom, LA has to be the move
Yeah.
for that. And then I was getting the most love out of LA, and kind of I see it like Miami in a way. Where like and probably New York, where it's like DJs are needed like nurses. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh wow.
it's always a
Always
venue.
something doing,
It's
yeah.
always a venue doing something, whether it's lunch, dinner, brunch,
Yeah.
and then nightclubs as well. But I think this world is just built around who you know. So if you could get tapped in with the right people, then from there, it could definitely take off. And that's why LA was the leap of faith, where I'm like, okay, boom, this is it.
Yeah, it's true because so we go out and visit LA a lot, like me and the wife, and we have our cousin out there, and she's like, she does all this cool stuff. She does photography for a lot of the brands on Fairfax and like all this other stuff. But it's also cool because like we went and she's like introducing us to people. She's like, hey, you need to come and do the podcast out here because like I have like cool friends that are in like Southeast Asian culture, Laotian cooks and all this stuff. And I was like, do we really want to try doing something like that? Do we really want to take this out of Utah and like really bring this as an introduction? Like we're taking on the world now, one city at a time. And I didn't really know how to feel about really opening up our door to, two different cities yet.
Yeah.
But now like,
I think we should.
we know you want to, we know you want to for different reasons.
No, relax.
What is it? What is the reasons?
No, you know how I am, bro. At the end of the day, I like to network and talk to people regardless
I
of
get
where
you.
we're at.
Yeah.
So if
No.
they're beautiful women, it's a +1. But yeah,
Oh goodness. I get it. It's fine. Go on.
that was it.
Yeah, I could just say this. If you're already somewhere, if you have a portable setup, it's possible to make something happen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. We do have a portable setup.
Do we? I mean, you guys. I mean, yeah.
We
it's
did it at a
pretty-
restaurant.
It's true.
We can-
it's doable.
All you have to do is
It
ship
is
this.
30 minutes to. Yeah, honestly.
Ship this. This is what hour.
It's one luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I've
could be
seen
one
worse.
luggage.
Yeah, this is less. I think all this stuff is less than 50 pounds, and we have Delta. If we go to Delta, we get free
Yeah.
luggages. So
Oh yeah, perfect.
True.
Bam.
All right.
I know
Love
it's
it.
possible too, buddy.
Off
You
the
know, it's just
menu
like,
on wheels.
we need this guy for sure.
We do need.
We have you,
Yeah.
me, and you, and then Amy.
Yeah.
I guess we can just do it us three too. You would want to go just on
Why am I
vacation
not
and do
like
it
already just invited? I don't understand this.
because I don't know if you're built for peace life.
For peace life, I can handle it.
Okay.
You guys really underestimate me, don't you?
No, we don't.
I'm just dormant right now, baby.
Okay,
Come
we're
on.
waiting for you to awaken the dragon.
Well, fucking, what do you want from me? I'm just
Okay, we
out
have to
here.
wait
Just
until
be
next
me.
year when the snake peels.
I really don't understand why these guys don't believe in me.
I never said that. I don't know why.
We
I don't
told this guy
understand
to
this
dress up in a
energy.
Speedo and a cape, and he
Yeah.
thought we were just talking
That's
shit.
stupid.
No, it's
Okay?
not. That'd be
That is
great
dumb.
content.
Oh, because you
He
guys
believes
get your
he's-
little giggles in.
He believes
you guys
he's
get your-
Batman.
He
So I
doesn't
said-
believe
I
he's
said
Batman.
go-
He
I-
is Batman.
So I
Batman.
said, go to the streets, wear a
There you
Speedo
go.
and a cape and
Yeah.
a bat mask, and let's interview fucking people on the street. That'd be
Well, it's because
You guys like really aren't even Batman fans, bro. We sit in our rooms
not.
and write in our journals, okay, in
But
one
I know.
single light.
But
I'm a
that's
huge
not-
Batman fan. Though.
There you
Okay.
go.
I'm with you on
100%.
that. I'm with you on
Motherfucker.
that.
You guys don't know
I'm
shit.
with you on that. I
Thank
got
God.
a Batman tat and everything.
I know
Oh, yeah.
enough to get you worked up.
I know, but I'm just tired of it, guys. I'm exhausted.
The Gator is really in there.
I just want you guys to appreciate me, man.
Wait, my
we
bad.
do.
Well, hold on,
No, you don't.
Other question: have you seen Joker yet?
I have not.
Okay.
No,
Have
because
you?
I'm like
I'm
a
gonna
little.
wait for it to come out. It's a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like
He
musicals.
already
It's a
knows.
musical.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
I just heard it was
I
really
didn't-
bad. I don't know what to expect.
I don't
Okay.
think it like
Yeah.
even if it was a point of it like being a musical, they still could have made it great.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like
And-
The
but-
Greatest Showman, right?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
I was thinking Big Band Jack. I tell you guys all
They
the
had
time.
a
It's
Lady
like,
Gaga, and they said, "Yeah, this has to be a musical."
and then you know what's the stupid thing? Because Lady Gaga had an album with Tony Bennett, and I loved it. It was just like show tunes, fucking jazzy, big band, whatever. And I thought it was like, oh, it's gonna be that because I know she can do that. But I don't know what we got. Apparently, it's just freaking.
Didn't she
trash.
do a show with Ryan? What's his name? Ryan Presley? Is that his name? Is it Ryan Presley?
It's that one country movie, right?
Yeah.
They did
that's- is that a
singing.
musical
Stars
too?
Born?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stars Born.
It's
Is that Lady Gaga?
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
I said Bradley Presley. What the fuck?
I don't even know who
Who
you're
the fuck
talking
is
about.
that?
He said Elvis Presley, Ryan Gosling. He just said Adam Baby.
Bradley Cooper.
This is like him yesterday saying Tupac saying
Gangsta
Gangsta Paradise.
Everybody was like,
That was the most serious moment yesterday.
Yeah, bro. I swear to God, I thought Tupac being Gangster Paradise for a second. I was like, wait, I'm thinking of Thug's Mansion. I was thinking of Thug's Mansion. I swear to God, guys.
I was sitting here, I was like, he did not just say that.
it was a very special episode because you didn't ruin. You messed up on the intro, and then he said that, and I was like, wow, you guys never do that stuff. It's
Well,
always
I already
me.
knew before I was going to mess up. So I already knew, but I didn't think that he was going to throw a left ball like that out of the field and then foul ball it.
It's all good.
He said
It's
Gangsta
all
Paradise
good.
by Tupac. And I was sitting here, I was like, he did not just say that with
did.
DJ on air.
Well, enough of me embarrassing myself. You said that you you were a co-founder of a tech company. You
Yeah.
said earlier that it's something for creatives.
Yeah.
Elaborate if
Yeah,
you can.
so basically it's called Vita Now. And Vita Now is going to be an app and it's going to be for creatives. Whether you're a creator or a supporter of a creator, you're going to be able to sign on the app and put in your Instagram, X, TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. And then, all that. My bad. All that will be able to like distinguish who engages with you the most. So if you're a creator, if you're an artist, if
out
you're
of
a
what
painter,
social media platform?
correct.
Ah,
And like all of them combined,
Correct.
or you
Okay,
can filter
okay.
them
Okay.
between each individual platform.
there we go.
So yeah, at first we're gonna really create it to be like to see like who messes with who the most and who engages with who the most, and getting those analytics of like geo tagging everything from there too. So I think it'd be a good utility for these artists and these big time creatives to have with big followings.
Yeah.
And it really could be used for anyone with a good following. So
Helps you understand your demographic and where to focus at.
exactly.
honestly.
And if you know who your top 10 people are, you incentivize them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Somehow, some way.
yeah.
With at least a text or with at least a
That's smart.
shirt,
Yeah.
free passes, something. And
Yeah, we're gonna be here. If you
We're
get
back
here
on the
early.
top 10.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
smart.
Damn it, I don't want to talk about
So
it.
how long have you been doing that for?
So it's been like that has been like a year and a half endeavor.
Right? Yeah.
We all connected in Salt Lake. I DJ'd for an NFT party in February of 2021. So it goes back that far.
Yeah.
My co-founders, time went on and I got approached with something like this. I'm like, hey, I put my creative input in it and became a founder. And it's been good. And I think my biggest thing is going to be just my network and, in the hands of like who I could get it into and like my other co-founders as well. We're kind of scattered across America. And I think it's happening at a good time right now because I am, the move to LA. There are things literally created for music, film, creative, and tech, so.
It's crazy that in LA they use different apps that work around in the city that give them ways to connect with other people in the city. When I was out there, I was like they don't just use Instagram. They don't just use X. There's a whole
there's all these different systems to get contacts, and then, representation, like whoever represents who. So it's pretty crazy. And I've seen like websites where they connect you to, and it's like paid membership. Like it's pretty crazy. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So we're looking. You guys will be able to have first access to it. I'll get y'all on the beta as well too. So that'd be good. I'm looking to really do this fully and kind of just hit the ground running and kind of know when it's to hit the ground running. I've been to all these conventions, whether it's South by Southwest, tech weeks all across America and everything. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Is it going to be like a subscription then?
No, not really. It eventually will be.
Right.
We wanted to get to that.
Yeah.
But at first, we're going to have it pretty much open.
Open, see how it works.
Utilize.
See what's wrong with things. Okay.
Most likely try to see, how apps make money. If you know how apps make money, you kind of know it's either ads.
Things you sneak in. Yeah. I hear
so
you.
Interesting. Trying to get in the hands of good people as well.
No, that makes sense.
Such
That's
a crazy experience to create an app and keep it going. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you haven't been into the tech industry really before that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I've been around it. But no, first time.
Smart.
Yeah. I hope we can exit from this when we do,
sell it and just dip out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd
be nice.
No, that thing is huge. Yeah. It's like the guy who made what's that one game?
Flappy Bird?
Flappy Bird.
Oh, he saw that.
Something so simple and then just boom.
Yeah. And you hear like stories like that and testimonies like that, and you're like, okay, well, what do they do? What did they do that was different? They either found funding or, they sometimes they're a unicorn, so they just get bought out and everything. And so I kind of just been deep diving into that as well as long everything else I have going. It's been good. It's been a good process. I've been getting mentored and kind of put on game by a lot of different people in a good way. So
where do you find time for yourself in the midst of all this stuff?
God,
traveling,
you're making you're about to release an album.
An album, you're kind of have your name attached to a lot of things. Where do you find time for yourself?
What I started doing a lot is journaling and like making sure I have like multiple calendars.
He is Batman.
So
now you understand.
No, I get it. Thank you. You're here to educate us on who Batman is. Like when people come in here, I'm like, this man could be Batman.
I know. That's all. I love you too.
One day.
Well, not saying that.
But. I think having an organized calendar is very important for me to have. I kind of learned different ways, whether first is my phone. So my Apple calendar is like really important to use. If I have to like jot something down to put on my main calendar, I'll do that. And then I have like a big calendar listed for my whole month. So my monthly calendar, and then under my monthly calendar, I have the next month, and then the next months after that. And then I have an annual calendar. So this is where time organization got way better for me. So the annual calendar is basically January through December, and I'll X each day where I like fully get to it, whether it's fitness, meetings, kind of just everything. Where I'm like, this was like a pretty busy day, but I leave one day out the week empty. So like yesterday was a day I didn't do shit, and I kind of do that, and that's where I could like kind of organize what day I don't really do anything out the week, and I sleep in and I kind of catch up that way. And it is pretty important too. Once I hit, I don't sound that this doesn't sound that old, but once I hit 25, 26, I'm like, okay, I can't do like the rapid full go stuff all the time and sleeping. You hear all this. I was hearing all this like commotion about, you can't sleep, you got to wake up at 4 a.m. Like, no, like you need some sleep,
Yeah.
like to at
You
least
do need sleep.
I was saying, it reminds me
to
of
be
what
healthy enough.
Will said yesterday. It's just time management at the end of the day.
I'm definitely learning that because we went to that
Holy
event.
shit.
We went to that event in California where Adrian Perr did the short film.
Nice.
And then he releases short videos of how he manages his life, and he shows that he blocks out time in his schedule to make sure he has time for his girlfriend or his time for his work or editing. And in that time, he's like, if I need to get something done, it needs to get done within that time because after that time hits, I cannot work on this anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
And for me, I have to really learn how to do that because I really started scheduling stuff out this year. It was like maybe like even 3 or 4 months ago, I started really like utilizing my calendar and like this is when I should be doing stuff. So I work a 9 to 5 and I got to edit after this. And then where do I find time to be able to put this stuff together? So that's why I asked because I get to learn from more creatives and how they get manage their life.
Yeah.
So because it's not easy. Doing what you do is not easy. Especially being on the road and being, especially in DJing, you're in the nightlife too.
Yeah,
So
back and forth.
being able to like catch up on sleep and figure out what day you need to do. So it's really nice to hear what kind of stuff that you're utilizing with your life.
Yeah.
And it's all within your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're listening to this, if you have any other techniques or kind of like strategies at work, definitely like drop them in the comments because I'm a sponge and I'm like willing to work or I'm willing to learn and soak in all this information. And I'm just saying what's worked for me.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the past like 12, 13 months.
Yeah.
And it's been working really good, I think.
Has 3 calendars, bro.
Yeah.
I hate that. That shit just gives me anxiety.
They're all in the same place too.
You're saying like
So,
just
yeah, they're
having
the
to
same
worry
wall.
about all these things to do.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to worry about that shit.
Well, you'll understand.
I know.
You'll understand when
I
you get to
know.
that point because, like, as an
I get
adult,
it.
as I'm getting older, I have to block out things. It's like if I don't block it out, like I have a Halloween party this Saturday. If I didn't have it in my calendar, I would have definitely
Whose Halloween
booked
party?
something.
Yeah. True.
I used
My
to
sisters.
double book all the
nice.
time.
But it's like I had that problem. I was double booking. I was triple booking. And like
Correct.
when I shot the music video, I had fight night that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what the? I had all these people coming over to my house, and
He wasn't even home. We were all
Wasn't even
here.
home.
He wasn't even home.
But I had to go do a music video, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it for sure to this because this is something I really want to try. I really want to do something.
Yeah.
And then having the camera in hand is like it makes me want to go do stuff.
Yeah.
Like whether I'm vlogging, whether people want pictures, it doesn't matter. I'm just out trying to do something with this camera because my friends pitched in to give me this opportunity.
Yeah.
And so that's why, having to juggle around your calendar and like looking at it, my shit's crazy right now. Like, not it's probably as crazy as yours, but it's like because now I'm starting to really use it.
Yeah.
And it just funnels everything. It just definitely just organizes it for you to be like, oh, okay, this is what I have to do. And from there, it does become less anxious. You do get less anxious from it because you're like, okay, now I know what I have to do. And I'm a procrastinator. You know what I mean? I know this, and I'm trying. I'm aware enough within myself to know I am a procrastinator. So like you said, I do have to do that shit right then and there.
Yep.
And just move on. Like check it off.
I know. I definitely. Hey, for real, I'm lazy as hell. And if it's not in my calendar, I ain't doing it. And so if I know that I have stuff planned out this week, I'm like, all right, I can't be lazy this week. So I mentally prepare myself on a Sunday for the week coming up. And I'm like, damn, I got 2 podcasts. I got to make sure I edit. I got to make sure I get reels. I got to make sure I'm getting connected with someone else. Just get them scheduled. Like yesterday, I scheduled 3 people for this upcoming week.
Yeah, I seen that.
And that's because we're trying to utilize this space. And before we move into our next office space, where we'll be doing that. So like I'm starting to really understand. Like you really have to block out
We
time
got
for
2
yourself.
more episodes here. That's it.
Yeah.
Huh? 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like you give yourself a little bit more control because you give your time off to yourself.
And you have to give, and that's also giving
yeah.
your time to your significant other. If you have a significant other out
100%.
there, it helps you be able to block out that time with them. Like, hey, I'm doing this between this and this time,
Yeah.
and they understand. Because you're not sitting there like I'm on the computer all day, and they're like, why are you still on the computer? I'm like, man, this video's rendering. It's taking forever. You don't understand. I'm sitting here watching this bar go up. I can't even do anything else because I'm watching this bar render.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
that.
That's funny.
And yeah, so like you said, I definitely do dedicate time to like others and my significant other as well. Or it helps out a little bit more. I'm not gonna say it solves all problems,
Yeah.
but it definitely,
Yeah,
it
by any
definitely
means.
It helps.
It helps
For
it
sure.
definitely helps.
Mentally, it helps.
Correct. Exactly.
So one thing I think we haven't hit on is the album you said you're releasing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You said in a month.
Yeah. So this month,
Crazy. I didn't even
this
know.
month.
I didn't
This
even know
month.
this. I didn't even know this guy did that. I didn't know you did that, Taylor. Honestly, I
Yeah.
just knew you were as a DJ once again. But
his
we
music
don't
is-
talk that much, so
Yeah,
you know. I know you always on the move. You always working. I know, but I never knew that this was in your.
Yeah, so this has been in the bag for a long time now. And
Yeah.
it was like it came to you try to be a perfectionist so much where shit just doesn't happen sometimes, and you're like, let me just do it. You know what I mean? Like let me just like stop. Let me just reach out, see who I want to do it. One, and then
Yeah.
two, like kind of just like orchestrate and facilitate a good release from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like these artists, and producers, they're trusting me with like the kind of like
The whole thing, the grand scale of it. Yeah.
the quality of it. It's just gonna be the first one. I'm like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be like a universal music release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
We
like
the best music.
yeah, exactly. And it's just something I want to do, and I feel as if like the DJs and like the people that put music out, there's more longevity behind that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? I think a big someone that has inspired me a lot is Metro Boomin. I think because he was a producer, but he was a DJ, so I'm kind of like doing the reverse in a way. But he just did the Spider-Man
Yep.
movies as well too. It's just good to see that creatively come together. I think the dopest one I saw was a Black Panther album, and
Yeah, Black Panther
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
that
sick.
first one, right?
Yeah,
that
sick.
first
the
one.
first one
That
was,
was sick.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was sick.
Kendrick,
Yeah.
RBX.
exactly.
Yeah, SZA, yeah.
But
SOB and RBE, they were
Yeah.
on it
Yep.
from the same area as me, and that was like, okay, they made it. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I just went to Europe, right this past in August, and they were playing SOBRB, the paramedic, the song that was in that movie, and I'm like, okay, like this is kind of how it probably has to happen.
Yeah.
Just releasing. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like music touches the world for real, and so like
Around
we
the
talked
world.
about it with Spaz, and
Yeah.
like I was in Japan and she was also, when she went to Japan, she was like, she heard who were they talking about? It was OGZ and it was like we heard,
that's
I was walking down the
the
street
womb.
and I was
Yeah.
like I heard
Yeah.
Chandelier.
Hearing OGZ
And I was
shit
like,
in Japan
what is going
crazy.
on here? But it's like crazy how music really does that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So how many tracks do you have on there?
14.
14. And artists from all over?
Yeah. So one's gonna be from Nigeria.
Oh.
It's gonna be one from Copenhagen,
Really?
Love Copenhagen.
Tampa Bay, Atlanta, I think New York,
Damn.
Texas. Another one from
How did you navigate all this?
I think the ability of just social media now and just reaching out, goes a long way
You
now.
just like their sound? You kind of
Yeah,
just said, I
yeah.
think you'd go well on this.
Correct.
and
A lot of them
just-
are Utah based or California based, or were
Oh,
Utah
were.
based. Or
Okay, there we
California
go.
based. Yeah, I forgot to leave that out too. So yeah, so definitely California, Utah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good going out here as well.
No,
too,
for sure, yeah.
Where if it's not this one where I work with someone, it's probably gonna be the next one or the next one after that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just being transparent about that too, because I know some people might feel some type of way about it, about not being on the first one. But I'm just letting people know I'm gonna do 2 a year. Like
Yeah, just
So
have
there
fun
are
with it, right? Yeah, and
opportunities.
just, and just
Yeah.
creating opportunity for other artists that you fuck with and just
Correct.
making that. Oh, I like
Probably,
that. That's
yeah.
so tough.
Nick Fury of
That's
music.
so tough. Have you on an interlude real quick.
Yeah.
Just
I got you,
I'll
man.
fuck with you.
If you do skits on an episode, or I mean on a track, let us know.
damn near, or like a music video.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
That'd be dope.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
that would be
And,
awesome.
we got to do that too. So
Yeah.
got the visualizers made up until we make
There we go.
music videos. And yeah, just trying to see how it goes. And then I know there's gonna be one for winter and there's gonna be one for summer. That's kind of how.
That's how you're
Oh,
planning
cool.
it. There we
Yeah.
go.
That's what these labels
That's
kind of
exciting,
do
bro.
already.
That's
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Once
Music,
again, that's
bro.
when entertainment starts picking up.
It's just
is
so
summer and winter.
commercial
Correct.
shit.
Right.
Well, not commercial, but it's just like we're at the point in the day and age where like we as consumers we're so spoiled by music because we get so much,
So much. Of it.
so much of it, bro.
Yeah.
Like back you what 10 years? Not even like 10 years ago, we'd have to wait 4 years for our favorite artist to drop an
I
album.
mean,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
still is the case with some people.
Some, yeah,
With some people,
yeah,
but
for some, but still, like
yeah.
it's so commercial now, where it's like you're getting new music.
It's like there's
almost
like
every
good and
fucking
bad in
day.
it now because like
Yeah.
now music that's being released is like kind of gets watered down because like
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we're getting every 3 months instead of
Yeah.
like waiting the 4 years because at that time you really appreciated
Yeah.
what the artistry was behind the music.
We just don't want shit to sound
Yeah.
the same, you know.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Because now it's like
Yeah.
what's really hot, and now it's like under 3 minutes because every record label's
I know,
telling
every
you to do under
song is
3
every
minutes,
fucking
and now no
2
one's
minutes and
dropping
30
albums
seconds.
because they were
Yeah.
like, no, we need like 2 songs from you a month.
Yeah.
You know, because now that's how things are being released.
Yeah, and TikTok really runs the game.
Yeah, they really.
These
crazy.
labels hate it.
Yeah.
I could really tell people that right now that are listening. It's like, you know, if you have a TikTok hit, you have a chance to be something big, special, and
Say something
transcendent.
crazy right now.
Something crazy right now.
So I can put on TikTok, dude.
Yo.
And yeah, like,
how crazy am I gonna get?
Whoa.
yeah. And when someone does have a big TikTok hit, the main thing is to do is get another one, or you know, just have a good album after that. You know,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
You
They
have
keep
the eyes.
consistent,
Yeah, you
yeah.
have the eyes of people at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just put out your own things. It's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of musicians on there now.
There is.
And then it's just like you just never know what's gonna catch.
a lot of creatives, bro. Honestly,
a lot of creatives.
When it comes to TikTok and Reels and stuff like that, I see a lot of artists doing like dope, different shit.
Like imagine I've found some artists where they just put up their thing and they got like maybe 30,000 likes. I looked on their Spotify, only a few thousand like listeners.
See?
I'm like, good for them. That's
Yeah.
like shit's tight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I could like say this too while I'm on this pod right now. It's like, you know, we're moving into a day and era where like social media is going to even become bigger and more utilized by the everyday person. I think it was a wild stat, and you know, you could correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it was something like it's like 10% of people are creators on all platforms, and the 90% are pretty much the engagers and supporters.
Yeah.
And that's looking to triple. Like the amount of that is looking to triple by like 2026, 2027. You know, so being on the creative side of it is like, damn, we just got to drop. You know what I mean?
No,
At some
God,
point,
yeah.
At some point it's gonna hit. You
Yeah.
know, and that's the process is the thing that's like I think for me the most fun is kind of you never really know, and it might not
Honestly,
be
yeah.
something you like, you know, essentially. But yeah,
No,
Yeah.
I totally get that.
yeah,
Because it's kind of with us, we just got used to just doing it.
yeah.
Instead of trying to look for
100%.
a number. But
Yeah.
of course we notice them, but it's at this point it's not really like too focused on it. It's more just kind of us doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's still a good time.
No, and it's fun. It's
Yeah.
this is honestly, I keep saying, we do say it a lot. It's an amazing time to be on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
when we're on here.
Like I said, I have to when Sunday hits, I'm like, damn, we got a podcast. Damn, I got to edit now. Like, because I go from the weekend and I go back to work, and then I got to worry about how this is gonna come out. Every episode, how it's gonna come out, or is it gonna be the way we want it to, and is it gonna have engagement, or are there gonna be views on it? And then that's just from my perspective because I have to do most of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I have to be attentive to everything that's going on and try to figure out how we're going to be more engaging on this episode, or how we're going to have discussions on this episode. Right.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Gotta love it. Gotta
Yeah.
love it.
Well, and that's why I'm happy that we're here still in the late stages of social media, but also in the early stages where, like you said,
Yeah.
engagement's gonna go up because more people are gonna want to do it, and more people are gonna start reaching out. But like, how do I get a podcast, or how? We're in a space that's saturated, but everything's saturated in this world now.
everything's
There's a million rappers, there's a million podcasts. And it's like, what's really out
Million
there?
chefs.
There's a million
Yeah.
DJs, bro. Like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of
Millions.
fucking
Gosh.
DJs right now is actually so oversaturated. I feel like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And-
Have
and
you seen that? Have you noticed that?
No, yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
think the learning curve behind it got easier though.
That's
and
why.
that's what
Yeah.
I learned from.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I learned from OGs.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do this shit, you really want to do it. I think the difference with me and like people in my situations is like I have to rely on this shit. You know what I mean? Like there is
Yeah.
no other option.
Yeah.
Like this is how I make money.
This is how I live,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is how I pay rent.
Yeah.
You know, until it gets to that point, you know, then it's like, or I mean, you could take it seriously at any stage, but you know, for me, it just hits a little different.
Yeah.
Because you
And,
have
and
to,
I I think that's where it kind of gets overbearing sometimes, is because it's work. So I see it as work. I see it as a way.
I was going to ask
Yeah,
you. I was
so-
going to ask you if you see it as work or
Yeah.
see it as like a, something fun for you. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
work can be fun, but like, it's work.
Yeah, because like I'm like fuck, I don't want to get up, but I gotta get up, you know, or like you know, it's not like Salt Lake is a market where it makes it easier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Salt Lake's market's a little tough.
Everyone
yeah.
out here, everyone in Salt Lake could like go to what I'm saying, and every DJ can go to what I'm like. They could
Yeah.
back what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
for
don't got
sure.
like a residency at one of these
Yeah, you're
clubs
not-
or
it's
bars,
hard.
it is hard.
But it's still good. It's still good to
Yeah.
like, all right, we had a good night. You know, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's
And
essentially perfect.
Utah's starting to like go into its own. Well, it started to follow the steps of like a lot of other places that have DJs and stuff, right? Like how now there's more opportunities doing house stuff. You
Yeah.
know, like more DJs are using the social media aspect and like creating their own boiler rooms or doing stuff here in the city.
Yeah.
And that's why we're starting to see like the rainbow rooms or
Yeah.
like other people that are doing that kind of stuff here.
Yeah, and I love to see it. I love to see how when I got into it, it was more like, okay, what club can you get into? Kind of like that. But when I got into it in Utah, it was like, you know, that shit not gonna last forever. So
Yeah.
how do you get into the corporate space, athletics or weddings? You know,
And that what Utah has a lot of.
yes,
Right.
A lot.
And so that with that being said, Utah is like the best for weddings as a wedding DJ. But I'm thinking about it when I'm 23. I remember this day. I'm like, okay, I'm 23. Do I want to do weddings for the rest of like my 20s and the rest of my life? I'm like, hell no. And I'm like, all right, let me just try to see like where else I could go and get booked at and stuff like that. So I'm still living the club DJ type of life.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
But you also, if you have the opportunities, you should do it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think if I am back here, it's either for a corporate event or it's either for corporate event is big. The corporate scene is big for, like I said, October and December. Just all these company parties trying to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to button up a little bit. You know what I mean? You can't.
True.
You can't. Yeah, it's not going to be the same approach you take as like all these other bars and clubs and restaurants. It's going to be like, okay, like, you know, I have my my invoice ready. You know, here's my contractual agreement. Here's who I worked with in the past, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah. So any DJs that want to know how you kind of get into it, it's about buttoning up to really essentially make it look like you've done it before, and you do it. You know, because you're against a lot of good competition.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But thank you for joining us here.
Yeah.
This is where we open up the floor. If you have any questions for us, if you have things that are going on, it's time to let people know what's going on.
And shout outs or whatever.
And shout out to my family. I know y'all gonna be probably listening to this. Without y'all, I couldn't be here right now. They know this. Shout out Off the Menu Pod. You know what I mean,
Appreciate
for
you.
having me. It's been a great time. It's just been a good conversation. Didn't even really want it to end. Yeah, we could have been doing this for a minute.
No, we actually could.
That's honestly how.
That's how it goes
Yeah.
too. Like,
That was like the quickest hour every time. You know, like look at it.
Yeah, and like just finally here is coming out soon. DJ Teo, you can find me
There we go.
at Mateown's MATEOWNS or officialdjteo.com for all my like updates and events coming soon. And yeah, we here.
Awesome.
And when we do end the podcast on a segment called the Chef Special, so it's free advice to the viewers, something you've taken in life that you really like hone in on. That's something that you really have to live day by day.
Yeah, free game.
I think for me, what has worked out, because I am on the music side of things, is what I've heard someone tell me, or I went to like a panel before, and they told me is like, you're either on the business side of music, you're either like a creator of music, or you're either a listener of music, and you kind of just got to decide which one you want to do. And from there, you could create any outlet you want. And if you are a fan of music, have that be it. But if you do want to be on the business or creative side of it, that's kind of avenue you can take as well. And I'm here. You can always reach out. And yeah, that's really it.
Just understanding kind of that pocket you're in for sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And it was really good for me to see that, because it simplified it.
Made it easier
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like where to go. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, just make things simpler for yourself
Yeah.
and make your goals easier.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so beautiful where like the love for something can just transcend the way it has for you.
Yeah, bro. It's
and it's
awesome.
like goes to show is like I love music. I want to DJ. This is something like for you, like you want to DJ, you're like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I want to put music in film. How do I do that?
That's so fire. I wouldn't
And
even thought some
so
shit like
sick.
that, bro. Yeah, like
Yeah.
saying it's so fire.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Teo, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Everything in the description below. Thank you, DJ Teo, for joining us here in the podcast, episode 116.
See y'all Saturday. He gonna be there Saturday.
This episode will be out after that, so make sure we promote it. If anything, tag us. We'll send it through, whatever it is.
Just we'll just make a clip of it.
Yeah,
Of what I
I can
said
make a
earlier.
clip of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. It was at the beginning. I'm gonna go clip that, and
Yeah.
then we'll go ahead and just
Yeah.
go ahead. But thank you guys for joining us off the menu podcast. Peace out, y'all.
Sorry, it's all
Appreciate
love.
y'all. Play excellent, play beautiful, play proper, stupid.
Man.